not a teacher, but I'm going to set this teacher planner up today. Hey everybody, today I am going to be setting this Erin Condren teacher planner up for my business stuff, aka the social media stuff I do, the freelance work I do, other things I do, YouTube, the podcast, all of that. I'm going to attempt to use this planner as like the centralized place for it. I did a video where I reviewed it and I talked about how I might use it. Now I'm going to give you a couple of thoughts as I'm doing this. Some of these things I'm going to be setting up right now to hopefully just keep doing them. And there's another couple of things I'm doing for the right now for the month of July and possibly August. And then following that, I may make some adjustments. There are going to be things in those months that I'm doing that might require a different look than maybe the rest of the year. Maybe. I don't know yet. Anyway, I left some Post-it notes for myself so that I could start getting things set up. And that's what we're going to start with. So this first spread here, the communication log, is going to be for podcasting. So these podcast situation stickers were made for me by my patron, Alex. She gave them to me. Her shop is The Cynical Planner on Etsy, and they say podcast situation. She made me some YouTube situation ones as well, which make me really happy. So I'm going to slap one of these up here next to communication log. How I'm going to use this, I'm not actually going to fill any of this out right now, but how I'm going, because some of this is going to be secret. I have in Asana, where I work with my husband, I have a list of potential people who've said they would be on the podcast, people I haven't asked yet. And so this is going to be where I'm going to make my list of people who I haven't reached out to yet, but who I think would be good guests or who have reached out to me. And so I want to put the date, their name, and what they do, why I'd want them on the podcast. And then I can move them over to Asana once I have gotten like the emails going and everything else, and I can cross them off of here. So this page, I was kind of not my favorite because I wished it was reversed since this is an academic planner, but I'm still going to start from here and work my way over, and I want to put themes and events. So I'm just going to put a couple of them in here so you can kind of see how I'm going to use this. So as you can see, I've just put in a few things during the year that might be relevant. I'm going to use this also for more future planning, but I'm not going to do that on camera, but I'm just kind of showing you how I'm going to be using this. Now, I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to use these pages yet, except that I know that I still have a big project ahead of me in terms of moving over stuff from my old website to the new website and stuff like that. So I'm just going to write website consolidation across the top here and use this page to map that out. I'm not going to do that today, but I'm going to just set it up. So this is going to be the project page for that. As for the rest of these pages, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, and I don't think I need to right up front. So for these pages, I'm going to be setting up income and expenses for the month. I don't generally like to use rulers, but I'm using one today. I'm going to take this sticker book. This is the edition 3 monthly collection, and pull the July sticker out of it. It does have the little July marker up here, but I want to just make it emphasized. I added the little firework too. And then over on this side, I'm going to do the same thing, but for income. I'm sorry if it feels like the camera is bouncing all over the place because I have to move it up so high because of how big this planner is. Trying to keep it where it's supposed to be is so difficult. So here is my income and expenses situation. And then here I'm going to put dates to remember. Like, I'm not going to bother with this for right now. Anything is going to just get repeated on the next page. So I'm just going to leave that alone for the moment. So here is my month at a glance, and I am going to use this for all the things. I think I want to color code so that I can figure out, I think I'm going to do color coding for this whole thing to figure out what is what. Instead of writing in different colors, I'm going to highlight. So here are the colors that I am going to use, and rather than create a key here, I'm going to create a key on like a journaling card, and I'm going to stick a coil clip on it so I can move it with the various things that I do. So these are the categories I'm working with, at least in the month of July. YouTube, podcast, Patreon, social media, freelance, and teaching. And the teaching refers to some different things, which you'll hear about more over the next few weeks. I've got this coil clip that came for free with one of my planners. I'm just going to slap it on here. And it'll pop right in there. I'm going to set it to the side for now. I'm going to put in a few dates that I know right now, and I'm going to highlight them so that I know where they go, what they are, under what category. So as you can see, I'm starting to fill in the things that are coming up on these days and when they're due, and I'll fill the rest of this in later, but you get the idea of how I'm going to use this calendar. As for the notes section, generally when I use this in my regular planner, I just jot in anything that's of note that month. And this month I haven't gotten anything I want to put in there yet, but that's how I'm going to leave it for now. Now we're getting to like the meat of this planner, and I'm going to move this back a little bit. This kind of came into frame as the camera fell over 800 times. You guys made a great suggestion of turning this into the days so that I have 7 days a week and turn this into the categories. And I think I'm going to try that in September. But for July and August, I actually need 6 categories. So I'm going to use each category. I'm going to use the dates here and then turn this into Saturday and Sunday and just try. I don't schedule a lot on the weekends. So I think I can just leave those and just highlight, like color code anything I'm going to put there, but not need the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to just set this up across the top with each of the categories, and I'm going to use the colors to denote what's there. So as an example, on Sunday the 8th, I will be going live at 1:30 to do the live testing Thunderdome, where we take all of the colorful fine liners and try them against each other for testing all the different things. And so that's going to be at 1:30. But I also need to get the event set up that morning. So I am going to mark both of those things on Sunday. So as you can see here, I have the setup event and the live at 1:30, which are both things I do on YouTube, and then the Patreon post, which is about the same event. So I've got it in the same cluster, but it's for Patreon, so it has that highlight instead. Just to give you an example of how I'm not going to completely fill this out, but just to show you how I'm going to use this. Usually on Mondays, one of the things that I do is I film my bullet journal video for the week. And then because Monday is when my podcast goes live, I like to do an Instagram story to tell you that the new podcast is up. So I'm going to put that in my social category. On Mondays, I usually post a sneak peek at the week to my patrons. So I need to get that up on Monday. And then on Mondays, my podcast goes live. So hopefully I will have already uploaded it. But just as a reminder, on Wednesdays, I like to send emails out to potential podcast interview people. And I'm leaving the dots there so I can make that list after I'm not on camera anymore. So as you can see, I'm starting to fill this in, and you're starting to see what it's going to look like. It's going to have bits and pieces everywhere. Not every column is going to be full. Likely the YouTube and the Patreon columns will be fairly full, and the social will probably be full. The rest of these will be scattered based on what kind of work I do each day. But this will just remind me of the tasks I have to get done at any given day, at any given time. And I think I'm going to use this way at least for the first couple of months until I don't necessarily need this teaching column anymore. And that is how I'm going to set up the week. So now I'm going to move to the back of the planner. So I have these stickers that came with they're like the pack that you can buy along with the gratitude journal. I got them in swag or something, I think. I'm going to take one of these big old flags and use it to cover up the student checklist right here. And on that, I'm going to write habits. I should have written July. Hold on. I'm going to redo this. I'm grabbing a Hello July sticker from the Celebrations collection that I did with Krissyanne Designs. That's better. Now I'm going to make a list of my habits, and I'm going to highlight them based on what area they are associated with. So this is just a start. These are YouTube centric. These are Instagram, podcast, Patreon, Facebook, and then other things like learning, inbox, whatever. I can always add more, but for now I'm going to leave it here. And this is just a start. And then I'm just going to go through and date every single one of these starting from July 1st. I don't know if I'm going to use a total or not at the end of each, because some of these, like the podcast, aren't going to be every day. I just want to be able to take a look and overall see kind of where things are going. And I think that that's everything I'm going to do in this for now. So I will check back in with you at the end of July to see how it went. And I don't know if I'm going to do another setup video for August or not, but at the very least, I'll give you an idea of what it looks like, maybe flip through it. If you're interested, let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Are you using the teacher planner for something other than being a teacher? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.